from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening. Welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing you your top stories for tonight. I am Lakshita Edinisinghe.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Sharika Tahir, and let's take a look at the headlines. The IMF offers its second loan installment to Sri Lanka, saying that the economy is now on the right track. The president says there's no alternative to the government program of rebuilding the collapsed economy. The budget 2024 passed by a majority of 41 votes. The story of Tasker Mahasen, who travelled 91 kilometers in search of his love. A directory of National Information Technology officers is declared. A major security breach in the Indian Parliament.
On to those and other stories in detail. In local news, International Monetary Fund says that Sri Lanka's economy has been directed to the proper path to get out of the current crisis. Senior head of the IMF Sri Lanka office, Peter Brewer, stated this fact, joining the media briefing held in connection with the release of the second installment of the comprehensive financial facility of the IMF for Sri Lanka.
Today, here in Washington, D.C., the IMF Executive Board completed the first review under the 48-month extended fund facility with Sri Lanka, providing the country with access to 254 million special drawing rights, SDRs, and that's about $337 million. This brings the total IMF financial support disbursed so far to 508 million SDRs, about $670 million, out of a total of 2.3 billion SDRs, or $3 billion US. The program continues to support Sri Lanka's efforts to restore macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability, safeguard financial stability, and enhance growth-oriented structural reforms. Today's board approval recognizes the challenging policy actions implemented by the Sri Lankan people to put the crisis behind them. Sri Lanka's performance under the program was satisfactory. All quantitative performance criteria for end June were met, except the one on expenditure areas, and all indicative targets were met, except the one on tax revenues. Most structural benchmarks were either met or implemented with delay by October 2023. These macroeconomic policy reforms are starting to bear fruit, and the economy is showing signs of stabilization with rapid disinflation, significant revenue-based fiscal adjustment, and reserves buildup. Taxation on increasing the value-added tax. And this revenue is needed for the government to provide the essential services that a government provides. Without such revenue, it's not possible for the government to provide the services that the citizens expect of the government. So raising revenue continues to be of paramount importance in Sri Lanka. Despite all these measures that have been taken, there's still a long road ahead to get revenue to a level where the expenditures can be supported.
I'd also like to point out that exceptions were lifted from many items, but some of the most essential items, including the ones that are consumed by low-income households, are still exempted. These include fruits, vegetables, rice flour, and wheat flour. So despite the increase in the VAT, there are measures to help the poor and the vulnerable. I'd also like to mention that the tax reforms that we have helped the authorities design are highly progressive in nature, so those who can afford to pay do so, and in a fair manner.
In other stories, President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that there is no alternative to the government's program implemented to rebuild Sri Lanka's collapsed economy. Making a special statement in Parliament today, the President stressed that if the debt restructuring process and obtaining the IMF support are disrupted, the entire country will become unstable again. President Ranil Wickremesinghe emphasized the critical role of the government's program backed by assistance from the International Monetary Fund and debt restructuring in rebuilding the collapsed Sri Lankan economy. The president warned that deviating from this path could lead to another economic collapse, urging caution against the allure of political fairy tales. President Wickremesinghe highlighted the success achieved through the proper handling of two fundamental factors: securing the support of the IMF and implementing debt restructuring. He asserted that by continuing this program, Sri Lanka has the potential to evolve into a developed nation. The president announced that the approval of the second tranche of the IMF would result in the World Bank providing Sri Lanka with $150 million for deposit insurance. This injection of funds is expected to significantly fortify the Sri Lankan financial sector. Acknowledging the challenges posed by various taxes, including the value-added tax, President Wickremesinghe clarified that these decisions were made not out of choice, but as necessary steps for the country's future. He assured that as the economy strengthens, the government will implement measures to bring relief to the people. Calling on the nation to remember the progress made so far, President Wickremesinghe cautioned against the influence of mere speeches and criticisms. He asserted that despite facing limitations, his leadership has steered the country towards victory by gathering support both domestically and internationally. As the president emphasized the importance of staying on the current path, he urged citizens not to lose sight of the substantial achievements and advancements that have been realized. The president's statement outlined a strategic approach to economic recovery, emphasizing the symbiotic relationship between the government's program, international assistance and responsible financial decisions. It is indeed an honor to address the gathering today. The president pleased to share the news that the International Monetary Fund has officially endorsed the second tranche of the extended credit facility for our country's reconstruction. This marks a pivotal moment in our journey as we decisively shed the label of a financially bankrupt state. The International Monetary Fund has recognized our collective efforts and acknowledged the significance of the crossroads we have reached. Leading this challenge yet successful expedition is a humble pleasure for me. Upon assuming leadership last year, the president inherited a country struggling with financial distress. Remarkably, no political leader in our nation was willing to step forward and undertake the responsibility of steering the course of a financially ailing state. None of the heroes and leaders currently addressing this esteemed parliament possessed the courage to step forward during the critical juncture when he assumed the responsibility of leading our nation. However, he embraced the challenge with unwavering resolve. On that pivotal day, he declared his dedication to navigate the precarious path akin to crossing a perilous vine bridge. Armed solely with determination and meticulously crafted plans, the president embarked on this formidable journey. During those initial stages, not a single member of parliament representing my party was present in the hallowed halls of the parliament. The journey faced ridicule and insults, particularly in the context of traversing the metaphorical vine bridge. Despite the challenges, a significant majority of members in this esteemed parliament stood in solidarity with me, enduring scorn and mockery. The journey encountered skepticism, and those who supported it faced various insults. The people of our nation, however, demonstrated their steadfast support, enduring hardships for the greater good of our beloved mother Lanka. Businessmen grappled with challenges, government and private sector workers faced difficulties, and professionals such as university professors and doctors encountered their share of adversities. The collective suffering endured was not in vain. It served as a crucial sacrifice to salvage our nation from the brink of bankruptcy. Through the dedication and perseverance of all those who bore the hardships, including the unwavering support from Parliament, we have now seized the opportunity to rescue our country from financial turmoil. Those individuals who with immense dedication endured these tribulations for the sake of our nation, as well as those who stood alongside me in the parliamentary arena, are deserving of pride. They are esteemed participants in the collective effort to steer our country away from the precipice of bankruptcy. To lay the groundwork for this transformation, we are enhancing educational opportunities for the next generation, ensuring that every high school graduate is provided the means for university education. Recognizing our historical reliance on agricultural exports, we are committed to restoring and modernizing our agricultural sector through a comprehensive program. Additionally, a shift towards renewable and green energy sources is underway to meet our energy needs sustainably. In the coming year, program is set to commence that aims to make a significant portion of the Sri Lankan population land and house owners, fostering economic stability. These initiatives are part of a broader strategy outlined in the 2024 budget. Acknowledging that approximately 50 years of development was squandered due to past mistakes, we refrain from dwelling on accusations and instead focus on rectifying the shortfalls and omissions of the past through ambitious plans over the next decade. Honorable Speaker, opposition to the path we are currently on can only come from those who do not wish for the majority of the country's people to become landowners and homeowners. It is only those who oppose the notion of 3 meals a day through agricultural modernization. Similarly, those against the influx of foreign investors to Sri Lanka, the creation of new job and income opportunities, and the country's progress towards becoming a developed nation are the ones opposing our journey. Those who wish to bankrupt the country are the sole adversaries to our efforts. We, as stewards of our conscience, propose limiting the stranglehold on political power to election times. It is time to collectively contemplate the future of our country and the welfare of our nation. Our dedication should be unwavering, driven by a commitment to securing a prosperous future for our children. Therefore, the President poses this question to the Honourable Assembly: are you ready to make sacrifices for the future of our country's born and unborn children? The true measure of readiness lies in actions, not mere words.
The Budget 2024 passed in Parliament with amendments by majority of 41 votes. 122 voted for the budget, while 81 voted against it. Meanwhile, the 3 parliamentarians who had been suspended recently were allowed to vote at the budget debate. The appropriation bill of 2024 was presented in Parliament on the 13th of last month. The relevant debate was held for about a period of 1 month until today. The Parliament will meet again on the 9th of January.
The votes of the Ministry of Finance was taken up for debate today as the final day of the budget third reading. Parliamentarian Dr. Harsha De Silva said that the country has reached a stable situation to a certain extent. There are no queues at present. The opposition is happy about the receipt of the second installment of the IMF on behalf of the public. This is a huge challenge. Therefore, all must be careful not to be deceived by false information. The opposition's program was presented under the Blueprint 1 and 2. The proposals of Blueprint 3 will also be presented by February and March next year. I heard that some government members say that might revise the IMF proposals. Their point is that they say this loan should be analysed. However, as an opposition member, I say that no one can stand against the IMF, as we all are a part of this international finance market.
Blueprint 3 අපි ළඟදිම ඉදිරිපත් කරනවා පෙබරවාරි මාර්තු වෙනකොට ඊළඟ අයවැය යෝජනාව අපි ඉදිරිපත් කරනකොට අනුර මන්ත්‍රීතුමා මොකද ඊවනේ හර්ෂ ඔව් ඇයි අනුර ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැනේ හරි අපි වාද විවාද කරමු හරි මැජික් කාර්යොත් එක වාද විවාද කරමු ඒක ගැටලුවක් නැහැ මං අහගෙන ඔබතුමාලාගේ කට්ටිය කියනවා අපි මේ IMF එකෙන් ඉවත් වෙලා සංශෝධනය කරනවා ඒකට හේතුව ඇහුවා මොකද්ද කියලා ඕන් කියන්නේ මේ ණය විශ්ලේෂණය කරන්න ඕනේ මේක ඉන්වෙස්ටිගේට් කරන්න ඕනේ මේකේ ODS ණය තියෙනවා ඒ කියන්නේ නීත්‍යානුකූල ණය හැබැයි ගරු මන්ත්‍රීතුමා මං කියන්න කැමති ඔබතුමාට එහෙම ලෝකයක් නැහැ අපි ඔක්කොම ඉන්නේ මේ ජාත්‍යන්තර මූල්‍ය වෙළඳපොළ ඇතුලේ Tamanට ඕන විදියට එහෙම කරන්න බෑ
State Minister Shehan Semasinghe said that some opposition members cursed on government members for increasing the VAT. But there is no alternative to overcome this economic crisis. The opposition members shout against the proposals as a part of their media show-off. Parliamentarian Harsha De Silva said that the government's operation is successful, but the patient is dead. It is regrettable that Harsha De Silva, as the chairman of the COPA committee, should not make such statements. All these decisions were taken within the COPA committee under his leadership. The government says that the patient was saved from the death.
සභාපතිවරයා හැටියට ඒක කියපු එක සම්බන්ධයෙන් මම කනගාටුයි. ඒකට හේතුව ඔබතුමාම සභාපතිත්වයට දරන මුදල්කාරක සභාව තුල තමයි මේ සියලු තීරණාත්මක තීන්දුව ගත්තේ. ඒ හරහා තමයි මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට ඉදිරිපත් වුණේ. හැබැයි ඔපරේෂන් එකත් සක්සස්ෆුල් වුණා. පේෂන්ට් මැරෙන්නේ නැතුව බේර ගන්න අපිට පුළුවන් වුණා කියන එක ඉතාම වගකීමෙන් අපි ප්‍රකාශ කරන්න ඕනේ. ජනාධිපතිතුමා ප්‍රකාශ
Parliamentarian Anura Kumar Dissanayake said that the president said that he had saved the country from this crisis. This is only a solution through accounting policies, but the country needs a far-sighted solution for the crisis. Minister Dr. Bandula Kunawardena said that it is true that all people live in many difficulties. Farmers, labourers and all members of the society have faced immense difficulties in the struggle of surviving. This situation is due to our failure to manage state funds and the balance of trade. The government has increased salaries with much difficulties. The amount allocated to purchase drugs to hospitals has been increased. Previous governments managed these problems by obtaining local and foreign debt and printing money. All the roads, bridges and other development projects have been completed by taking loans. Parliamentarian Vimal Veeravansa said that the upcoming year will be the most difficult and serious period for the people. Parliamentarian Mahindananda Alutgamage said that we extend support to the government to pass this budget. However, we feel sad for the problems of the general public. We are confident that this situation will be totally changed by February and March next year. Minister Ali Sabri said that there are 1.5 million public servants. That means 1 in every 16 individuals is a public servant. But in India, it is 1 for 180 individuals, and in Pakistan, 1 in 55 persons. Therefore, Sri Lanka's public service is a burden to the country. No one can solve these problems only with popular slogans. The leaders who hope to become the president of this country should forward their alternative proposals to rebuild the country.
උත්තර දෙන්නට බෑ. ආර්ථික වැඩපිළිවෙල ඉදිරිපත් කරන ජනාධිපතිවරු වෙන්න ඇඳුම් අහගෙන ඉන්න අයට කියනවා රාජ්‍ය සේවය වෙනස් කරන්නට මොනවද කරන යෝජනා? ආර්ථිකය මිය ගිහිල්ලා නැවත.
State Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiya said that the dead economy is being reborn at present. When we talk in the perspective of history, no politician during the past 75 years can be considered as fresh and innovative. All the politicians contributed to these 75 years of rule in some manner or the other. Even the JVP brothers cannot be considered as fresh. They were given a chance by the people in 2004 with 39 parliamentary seats. However, they couldn't change the direction of the country.
Minister Dr. Bandula Kunawardena says that Sri Lanka Transport Board must become a profitable body by next year. The minister stated that the SLTB should achieve this target to be maintained as an independent entity without being subjected to privatization. Minister Dr. Bandula Kunawardena made these remarks participating in the 2023 Colours Awarding ceremony organised by the Sri Lanka Transport Board Sports Control Council. Recently, sportsmen and women of the Sri Lanka Transport Board who had claimed victories at national and international level sporting events were felicitated at this ceremony. Accordingly, 165 players received awards and certificates. Minister Mahinda Amaravira says that if measures are not taken to control the soaring price of eggs within a week, stocks of eggs sufficient for a period of 3 months will be imported. The minister stressed that the Consumer Affairs Authority will be instructed to impose a maximum retail price for eggs. A media briefing was held today to inform the media regarding the measures that will be taken by the government in case of the soaring prices of eggs and chicken continues further. Prices of eggs and chicken have rapidly increased in the local market at present. It has been revealed that some poultry farmers and vendors have increased the prices in an unjustifiable manner. The minister says that the cost of manufacturing an egg is about 20 rupees at present. However, the price has increased to 65 rupees per egg within 3 days. Accordingly, the minister pointed out that the relevant parties should take measures to reduce prices within a week. If they fail to do so, stocks sufficient for about 3 months will be imported without delay. A maximum retail price will also be imposed. Minister Mahinda Amaravira pointed out that this artificial price increment was created by unscrupulous poultry farmers and traders targeting the upcoming festive season. The minister stressed that the government will never let them exploit the consumers. The injured wild elephant named Mahasen was given treatment recently.
The wildlife officials believe that the elephant was injured by an attack of a tusker. The elephant Mahasen is considered as one of the wild elephants with the largest pair of tusks. Mahasen's native area and the roaming zone is the Somawathiya area. However, this elephant currently has a habit to visit far away Kakirava area once a year or once in 2 years. There are no boundaries for love. It is believed that Mahasen usually comes to Kakirava area in search of its female partner. Mahasen is about 55 years of age at present. While the elephant is roaming in small forests close to Kakirava area, it was reported that the animal had a wound in the middle of its back. Accordingly, wildlife veterinary surgeon of the Anuradhapura region, Chandana Jayasinghe, veterinary surgeon Udeshika Madhuvanti and their team started giving treatment to the elephant recently at Olukaranda area. It has been revealed that the wound is caused by an attack of an elephant with a small tusk. The elephant is now roaming around the close-by jungles under the supervision of the wildlife officers. Earlier, this elephant was injured one of its left paws and given treatment. However, the area where the elephant is roaming is vulnerable with booby traps, locally made trap guns and illegal laid electric wires. Even the wildlife officials are unable to monitor the elephant around the clock. However, the wildlife activists point out that a proper technical system should be implemented to protect such elephants from the man-made dangers.
Sri Lanka Computer Association launched a directory of national information technology officers, including their details. The national television is also a major partner connected to this process. Sri Lanka Computer Association has taken a number of measures for the development of the information technology sector in the country. The aim of this new project is to provide proper respect and to evaluate the information technology officers' contribution to the country.
The CIO
very comprehensive framework which is very stringent endeavor to judge the CIOs under the right framework. So thanks to their extensive deliberations, I must repeat that they took it very seriously. The time and effort they spent amidst their very busy schedules was amazing. They didn't take it lightly because it's as I said, serious business, and they spent enormous amount of time and brainstorming and sometimes taking on each other, challenging each other. It was fantastic exercise for us to witness as the members of the council. And as a result of that deliberations, they came up with 12 measurement criteria. With the massive transformation happening across all sectors of a country or in the world, so the role of CIOs was changing. And it was changing from a supporting role to a very, very strategic role. So that has to be reflected in this measurement criteria. So the 12 pillars they came up with after spending a lot of time and effort: strategic IT acumen, transformation management, business mindset, digital advocate, operational excellence, performance orientation, financial discipline, risk management, talent management, leadership and professional excellence, global exposure, and legal compliance. So these are the criteria.
Today we are gathering here to induct some distinguished CIOs to the CIO National List 2023 and celebrate the presence of remarkable leaders among us. On behalf of the Computer Society of Sri Lanka, I extend the heartfelt welcome to each and every of you. Your presence here adds immense value and significance to this occasion, and we are truly grateful to your time and appreciation. As we embark on this journey together, so let us reflect on the collective expertise and the knowledge that fill the room. Our esteemed guests, CIOs, and all present, your presence not only enriches this gathering, but also underscores the collaborative spirit that defines our community.
National CIO recognition. Of Sri Sharwadhanapura postgraduate diploma in IT computer technology. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we please give a resounding round of applause to all the recipients of the CSSL National
Life as we know it is often unpredictable. We bring you this story about a person who had to leave this world in an unexpected instant. A team of national television yesterday held a television recording with the senior manager of the air traffic control unit of the Katunayake International Airport. During this program, he had an emergency heart failure and later succumbed to the attack while being hospitalized. He is Nishan Abewardana. He helped the national television team last afternoon to have pre-recordings for the children's educational program titled Guan Sihinaya. Unfortunately, he had to leave all his loving members of the society. Nishan Abewardana is an experienced air traffic controller with over 38 years of service. He is a postgraduate degree holder from Wales University in England in business management. In 1986, he joined as an assistant air traffic controller after having many trainings in numerous countries. He was appointed as the head of the air traffic control unit of the Katunayake Airport in 2019. He is a father of 2 children and was 58 years at the time of his demise. His remains now lie at a private funeral parlour in Borella. The final rites will be held at the Borella General Cemetery tomorrow evening.
The 11th stage of the national action to prevent breeding of dengue mosquitoes will be held in Trincomalee tomorrow. The awareness program for school children will be held at the St. Mary's Girls' School in Trincomalee, and the project to clean the environment will take place at Samudragama. The awareness program for school children will be held at the St. Mary's Girls' School in the morning. The town cleaning activities will take place at the Samudragama area. The National Television, Martin Company and Trincomalee Municipal Council have joined to conduct this program. In addition, members of 3 armed forces, Sri Lanka Police, a number of NGOs and the Lions Club contributed to this program. The people living in these areas are also invited to support the good cause. Well, that's it on local stories. We'll be back with news overseas.
Welcome back as we take a look at the foreign news. India's parliament witnessed chaotic scenes after at least 2 men intruded into the chamber, shouting slogans and spraying coloured gas.
Indian media has released visuals of Indian parliament members and security officials trying to catch one of the intruders who is seen jumping from table to table. Reporters say the intruders were overpowered by security officials and taken away. The security breach occurred on the 22nd anniversary of a deadly militant attack on India's parliament. Lawmakers said the 2 men jumped into the well of the house from the visitors' gallery. Their motive is not clear. The incident occurred while lawmakers were in session in the Lok Sabha, the lower house of India's parliament. Both houses were suspended for a short period before the session resumed. Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla said that investigations are underway by the Delhi police to find the motive of the intruders. Meanwhile, 2 other people, a man and a woman, have been detained for protesting outside the parliament by setting off canisters of coloured gas.
Wishing you a joyful Christmas from Prima.
Quick look at the sports news before we wind up for today. Sri Lanka Cricket officially announced today that former cricket captain Upul Tharanga has been appointed as the chairman of the National Cricket Selection Committee. 4 more members are included in the selection committee.
Sports Minister Harin Fernando has appointed this committee for a period of 2 years with immediate effect. The other members are Ajantha Mendes, Indika Diseran, Tharanga Parnavithana and Dilruwan Pereira. The inaugural duty of the new selection committee is to select a Sri Lankan team for the ODI and T20 series to be played in Sri Lanka in January against the Zimbabwe team.
Wishing you a joyful Christmas from Prima.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's news bulletin. Do join us tomorrow for more of the very latest. Until then.